Partizan Belgrade versus Red Star Belgrade, Serbia, also known as the Eternal Derby. We begin in Serbia, a place where football matches can feel more like civil wars. Red Star and Partizan were born out of post-World War II politics. Red Star, the civilian club, Partizan, the team of the army. These aren't just football clubs, they're institutions. Their stadiums, separated by only a few miles, often become stages for flares, fire, and full-blown chaos. The Eternal Derby is a match of noise, intensity, and survival. Origins of both Red Star and Partizan are found in political institutions of the post-World War II communist Yugoslavia. Red Star was formed on the 4th of March 1945 by the United Alliance of Anti-Fascist Youth, part of the new civil authority in Yugoslavia. A few months later, on the 4th of October 1945, Partizan was founded as the Sports Association of the Yugoslav People's Army, JNA. The first match between the two football teams was played on the 5th of January 1947. Red Star won 4-3, and an intense rivalry has developed since. Partizan got its first win, 1-0, in the very next derby on 27th April 1947. Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray, Turkey. The Intercontinental Derby. This is the only derby in the world where the two teams are from different continents. Fenerbahce hails from Asia, Galatasaray from Europe. Separated by the Bosphorus Strait, united by hate. The Intercontinental Derby is Turkey's most volatile match, both in the stands and on the pitch. Here, football is religion, and Derby Day is the holy war. In 2012, Galatasaray players celebrated a league win by lighting flares on Fenerbahce's pitch. It almost caused a riot. Fenerbahce are known for rarely losing at home in the Intercontinental Derby. In the Shukru Saracoğlu Stadium, Galatasaray could not defeat Fenerbahce for 20 years, in 23 consecutive matches, since 22 December 1999 until 23 February 2020, when Galatasaray ended Fenerbahce's streak. Since then, Galatasaray has won 5 of the 7 matches played there. The Rome Derby. Roma versus Lazio, Italy. Welcome to the Eternal City and its eternal rivalry. Roma versus Lazio is more than a clash of two clubs. It's a war for the soul of Rome. Roma, considered the club of the working class. Lazio, traditionally more aligned with the elite and, controversially, the far right. The tension is constant, the passion, electric. This isn't just a derby, it's a referendum on identity. In 2004, a false rumor about a fan death caused a Rome derby to be abandoned mid-match after protests. On 26 May 2013, the teams met in the 2013 Coppa Italia final, the first cup final in the history of the fixture. Lazio won the match 1-0 with a goal by Senad Lulic in the 71st minute. Sjetins, a low right-footed shot from a low cross from the right by Antonio Candreva, after the goalkeeper Bogdan Lobance failed to cut out the crossed ball. Super Clasico, Boca Juniors versus River Plate, Argentina. If football had a heart, it might beat in Buenos Aires. Boca Juniors versus River Plate is South American football at its loudest, wildest, and most chaotic. Boca. Born in the gritty neighborhood of La Boca. River, the Millonarios, from the wealthier side of town. It's class war on grass. Every pass, every tackle, every goal feels like life or death. In 2018, the Copa Libertadores final between Boca and River was so intense it had to be moved to Madrid, Spain for security reasons. The rivalry between the two clubs can also affect players, particularly those who are transferred between the two clubs. In 1992, José Luis Villarreal won the league title with Boca and left the following year to River. Although he was received very well by River fans and won the 1993 and 1994 league titles there, Boca fans never forgave him. And he says he hasn't been to La Bombonera since then to avoid problems. North London Derby, Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur, England. Just 4 miles separate the Emirates and Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But a world of hostility lies between them. Arsenal's move to North London in 1913 sparked a century-long feud that shows no signs of cooling. Arsenal fans sing about St. Totteringham's Day. Arsenal fans remember 2004, when they won the league at White Hart Lane. This derby may not always decide the title, but it defines the bragging rights of London. In 2001, Tottenham's Sol Campbell transferred to Arsenal for free, instantly becoming a hate figure for Spurs fans. Arsenal once relegated Tottenham due to a controversial league vote after World War I. After an endorsement by league president and chairman of Liverpool John McKenna on account of their longer membership of the league, Arsenal won the vote by 18 votes to Spurs' 8 and were thus elected to the First Division, 18. The decision infuriated Tottenham and their supporters. As of 31st July 2025, 198 games have been played between the two teams since their first game in the Football League in 1909, with 84 wins for Arsenal, 62 wins for Tottenham, and 52 games drawn. Tyne-Wear Derby, Newcastle United versus Sunderland, England. Forget glamour, forget silverware. This is raw, northern pride. Newcastle and Sunderland have battled each other, and the elements. For over a century, they don't need titles. All they want is to beat the other. And when they do, it's a victory that lasts far longer than 90 minutes. The rivalry dates back to the English Civil War, where Newcastle and Sunderland were on opposing sides. The 1901 Good Friday encounter, late in the 1900-1 season at St. James's Park, had to be abandoned, as up to 120,000 fans made their way into a ground which then had a capacity of 30,000. The news was met with anger and rioting followed, with a number of fans injured. Derby della Madonnina, AC Milan versus Inter Milan, Italy. Two giants, one city, one stadium. The Derby della Madonnina is an all-Milan affair, with AC Milan and Inter sharing the San Siro, and a burning desire to be the city's top dog. Inter was formed by a breakaway group who wanted to sign foreign players. AC Milan represented the working class. Today, both clubs are European royalty, and when they clash, Milan stops. The derby is named after the statue of the Virgin Mary atop the Milan Cathedral, La Madonnina. In 2005, the match was abandoned after Inter fans threw flares onto the pitch, one of which hit AC Milan's goalkeeper. The two clubs famously met in the semi-finals of the 2002-3 UEFA Champions League, their first ever European matches against one another, in which Milan went through on the away goals rule, despite both clubs playing at the same stadium. Milan would go on to win the competition. They met again in the quarter-finals of the 2004-5 edition. Milan triumphed on aggregate after UEFA awarded them a 3-0 victory in the second leg, as the match was abandoned due to flares thrown by Inter fans. The Northwest Derby, Manchester United versus Liverpool, England. This is England's biggest rivalry, not just in passion, but in trophies. Liverpool dominated in the 70s and 80s. Manchester United took over in the 90s and 2000s. It's not just about cities or players, it's about legacy, about who owns English football's crown. And every match, regardless of form, is treated like a final. The two clubs are the most successful in the history of English football. Between them, they have won 40 league titles, 21 FA Cups, 16 League Cups, 37 FA Community Shields, 9 European Cups, UEFA Champions Leagues, 4 UEFA Cups, 1 UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, 5 UEFA Super Cups, 1 Intercontinental Cup, and 2 FIFA Club World Cups. As of April 2025, Liverpool lead in terms of number of trophies won with 69 to United's 68, while United lead in the head-to-head record between the two teams with 83 wins to Liverpool's 72. The remaining 61 matches have finished as draws. Between them, the clubs have won over 130 major trophies. The Old Firm, Celtic versus Rangers, Scotland. Welcome to Glasgow, where the line between sport and identity blurs completely. Celtic represents the Catholic, Irish community, Rangers, the Protestant, British loyalist tradition. It's a rivalry defined by religion, politics, and centuries of cultural tension. And when they meet, the city holds its breath. The most significant development occurring in 1912 when Belfast shipbuilders Harland and Wolff, a company which already had anti-Catholic hiring practices, set up a new yard in Glasgow due to instability in Ireland. Hundreds of Ulster Protestant workers, many of Scottish descent, also made the move. And they adopted Rangers, the closest large club to the Govan Yard, as their new team. Other events such as World War I and the Easter Rising contributed to the club being adopted as a symbol of the Scottish establishment and of British unionism in the face of Irish Catholic rebellion, personified by the success of Celtic. And from that time on, many across Scotland and Northern Ireland became supporters of Rangers or Celtic over and above their local teams according to their own political and religious leanings, including polarized attitudes towards the Troubles. El Clásico, Real Madrid versus Barcelona, Spain. At number 1, it had to be this, El Clásico. Real Madrid and Barcelona don't just represent cities, they represent ideologies. Madrid, the crown. Barcelona, the Catalan resistance. Under Franco, Barca became a symbol of defiance. On the pitch, it's been Messi versus Ronaldo, Xavi versus Modric, Cruyff versus Di Stefano. And every encounter is more than a match. It's a moment in history. As early as the 1930s, Barcelona had developed a reputation as a symbol of Catalan identity, opposed to the centralizing tendencies of Madrid. In 1936, when Francisco Franco started the coup d'état against the democratic Second Spanish Republic, the president of Barcelona, Josep Sunyol, member of the Republican left of Catalonia and deputy to the Cortes, was arrested and executed without trial by Franco's troops. During the dictatorships of Miguel Primo de Rivera, and especially Francisco Franco, all regional languages and identities in Spain were frowned upon and restrained. As such, most citizens of Barcelona were in strong opposition to the fascist-like regime. In this period, Barcelona gained their motto, Més que un club, English, more than a club, because of its alleged connection to Catalan nationalist, as well as to progressive beliefs. In 1943, Real Madrid beat Barcelona 11-1 in a Copa del Rey match, but the game was reportedly influenced by political pressure from Franco's regime. And there you have it, the top 10 most fiercest football rivalries. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos like these. And comment down below ideas of videos I should make in the future. But until next time, it's a goodbye for now.